Welcome to the Unknown Options, the show that helps you unlock the doors to new opportunities and possibilities. Whether you're just starting, looking to make a change, or trying to advance your career, we have the knowledge, insights, and resources that you need to succeed. Each week, we'll bring you interviews with inspiring guests, actionable advice, and provocative discussions to help you take control of your career and chart your path. Join us as we explore the unknown options. My name is Will, and today our guest is Bokar. It's one of my good friends from college, University of Charlotte.
Absolutely.
Ex civil engineer, current data analyst. I mean, tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. Well. Before I get into it, I do want to say I do appreciate you, Will, for really giving me the opportunity and asking me to be on this podcast right here. I love what you're doing, and I love what you're doing with this platform right here, and the platform that you do have and the skills that you do have as well too. So that being said, guys, so my name is Bokar Diaby. Originally from Guinea, West Africa, moved to the States when I was 3. Lived in Atlanta a little bit, and then we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina when I was 6, and then I pretty much grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. So like as Will said, I got my degree in civil and environmental engineering. That's what I got my degree in college. That's what I started my career off in as well too. And then as of recently, I made a transition into the tech industry as a data analyst. So that's pretty much what I do now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll jump into that transition later on. But I mean, for us, I mean, lesser educated folks, I mean, what is civil engineering?
So I get that. So I used to get that question a lot. A lot of people don't realize that, whenever someone thinks of engineering, they always think of like cars, robots, and different stuff like that. And they don't realize that the first form of engineering was actually a civil engineering, because it's the oldest type of engineering. So a civil engineer is what we do is we design, test, and construct large structures such as highways, roadways, skyscrapers, homes, dams, power plants, I think I said skyscrapers as well too. So anything that pretty much anything that is used to like live or used to help people get to a destination faster is what a civil engineer does. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, you missed a little key fact. You have to be super smart to be a civil engineer. I remember studying with you till like 2 a.m. when you were like in like probably, I think it was like physics 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It was like Spanish, like reading Spanish. I was looking at it. I had no idea what you were doing, but commends to you doing that. But I mean, I guess what motivated, you were one of the most focused, probably, I mean, you still are one of the most focused people I ever met in my life. What motivated you to get into civil engineering?
Yeah. So that's a pretty good question. So coming out of high school. So when I was in high school, I was really like big with sports, right? So I played football and I also ran track as well too. No, even back then, I knew that I wanted to be successful and make a lot of money, because I knew even, at a young age and also in high school as well too, I knew that we were poor. I'm gonna just flat out say that. Back then, as I was growing up, I was sharing a room with three other guys. So it was like me, my cousin, my little brother, and my uncle, right? And so I was really good with sports, with football, until I tore my ACL my senior year, right? And that's what really kind of changed the game for me, because I was like, at that point, all I could really see myself doing was playing football. And I was like, okay, great. What's next? So a lot of people tend to say like, hey, go after your passion, right? I took a little bit of a different route. I chose the option that could make me the most amount of money to get me to my passion the quickest, right?
Okay.
Because a lot of the times, I mean, your true passion, like most people's true passions are around helping other people, or it deals, in some way, shape, or form, it deals with money. Whether you're using money to help people, or you're using money to buy you more time, right? So and also me being African as well too, like coming from an African household, I really had like but like 3 or 4 options here. So I
Wait, can we gotta go deeper into that because I'm African American and like growing up, I didn't know many like I guess second generation Africans, like all those African Americans. So it's like, but when I met a lot of Africans in UNC Charlotte, and it's like y'all was brought up a whole different way than like us. So please dive deeper into like how like that influenced your decision to go into civil engineering because like I see most Africans and Indians they go to STEM.
Absolutely.
Well, African Americans usually go into business or like communications. That's not the same major,
Absolutely.
but I mean, like they.
Yeah. So I mean, So I mean, like it started as early as like when I was like 10 or 11. I remember I was talking to my mom because I really like food, right? And I like to cook, right? and I like to like watch her cook. And I was like, Mom, when I grow up, I'm gonna be a chef. And she was like, No, you're not. You're gonna be a doctor. That's as simple. That's as simple as it is. So when you grow up in an African household, it doesn't matter what country in Africa you're from. You got like 4 options, right? It's either becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer, becoming an engineer, or get sent back home. those are your options. So going back to the original question, when I chose engineering, it was really those 4 options. But it was really 3 options, and I just picked the option that would have me in school the shortest amount of time. Because being a doctor and lawyer, it deals with a lot of loans, and also a lot of time in school before you actually even get to see the fruits of your labor as well too. So engineer was specifically the way out for me, and then I chose civil engineering specifically because I really liked and enjoyed the idea of having like creating something on a 2D screen, so on a 2-dimensional screen, and pretty much seeing it come to life. I think that civil engineering, out of all of the other types of engineering, is where you see the most immediate impact because you see it from your creation on a design page, and then through the construction phase of everything, you pretty much like see everything being built in front of your eyes. So that's why I picked civil engineering more so specifically because I really like the architecture of things, like the way that things look. So absolutely.
Okay. So I guess what was the? I mean, I want to stay on the college for a little bit because
Absolutely.
I mean, hopefully our audience talks to a lot of people that are in college. Were you always like an engineering major? Did you switch? I mean, you seem like you were focused right after you tore your ACL.
Yeah.
You seem like you were set on engineering. Like, was there any like flip flopping? Like, maybe I should go into medicine. Maybe I should go like mathematics, or was it always?
It was
strictly
for
engineering?
me. It was always engineering. Not
Okay.
There's only one other person in my family that has an engineering. Actually, no, two. There's only 2 other individuals in my family that have an engineering degree, but I was actually the first one to get an engineering degree in America, right? So, so even along the way, how hard it was. There were times where I didn't want to flip flop and stuff like that, but the minute I came into college, I came in with the same major that I came out with. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That's good because I don't know the exact percentage. I'm not gonna make up a lie on the site, but I know a lot of people switch majors like the second year, and I know even I did. So that's a completion in itself. What was the biggest challenge of like the road to becoming a civil engineer, or if you could, I guess like give like a quick like 2 minutes. We don't gotta go all in depth into like every class you took, but I guess like a quick like roadmap of like the mindset you have to have, and then like the grit. I know there's grit involved to become a civil engineer.
Absolutely, yeah. So to become an engineer, I mean, the pathway is before you get into your major classes, you take general education stuff, and you also take like beginner engineering classes, right? Cool. And and these professors will tell you themselves that like these beginner engineering classes, they're weed out classes. Like they're looking to weed out people that really don't want to be engineers. So they make it hard. Like I remember sitting in my first engineering class. It was intro to engineering like one. And then yeah, so I was sitting in that class, and I was also in a physics one class as well too. And I was just like, yo, like, what is this? You know, for real, like, I'm sitting in physics class. I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. No one knows what is going on. So I'm like, it's gotta be crazy. Like,
But do you, because you've actually worked in the field as a professional civil engineer, is that level of intensity like required to be a good civil engineer, you think?
I would say I would say yes. I would say yes.
Okay.
The reason why I would say yes is because and being an engineer is something that, like, you know, like in the real world, if you don't enjoy it, you're not gonna like yeah, if you don't actually enjoy what you're doing, you're not gonna like it. Like it's not something that you can BS through. And then also the amount of like brain power it takes to actually figure certain things out. Like, so as a civil engineer, right? For like example, as a civil engineer, a lot of what I've worked both on the construction side of a civil engineer, where I manage projects being built on a construction site, and then also from being inside our office, being on the design side of like designing an actual project and stuff like that, right? And the thing about it is, like, if you really don't know what you're doing, you designing, let's say you design like pavement on a road, right? Um, a, a, you have to account for the way the water flows to the pipes, because obviously, yeah, because obviously when it rains, you don't want it to flood, right? You got to account for stuff like that. Like, and this is one aspect of design, right? Because there's other types of design that you can do, but let's just stick with that for a second. If you don't design the pavement at the right slope, you can cause an area to flood. Especially if it's like a subdivision and houses are being built there, you can cause the area to flood.
Jeez.
If you don't put the pipes, like, so when it drains, it's supposed to go down in the pipes. If you don't have the pipes at the right slope, the pipes could get clogged. Especially if the water is rushing through the pipes too fast. Like there's a lot of like there's a lot of small things about civil engineering, that like about designing, that like if you really don't like it, you're not
Yeah.
you're not going to get it. Like, it's like you're not
Yeah.
going to understand it at all.
It's a passion filled career. Like you gotta have passion
Absolutely.
for it, or you're gonna burn out really
Absolutely.
quick. I mean, I guess we can, so obviously you just said like you have to have grit, and you more so passion, love to be an
Yeah.
engineer. I mean, I guess we can fast forward to like take us through like the jump from being a student to an actual practitioner. Being that get your first job as a civil engineer. I know a little bit about the company. Obviously, we good friends. He told me about me, and everyone knows that.
Facts. I
So,
got you. I got you. So I would like to say that I'm a bit like built differently. So no, and I say that to say, like, when I made the choice, like, before going in, when I made the choice to be a civil engineer, like, I said, hey, look, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put myself in the best position possible. So so what I did was, early on, like my freshman year of college, I went to career fairs and I applied to positions. I knew that I wasn't really expecting to get any positions. But I applied to about like 75 positions. The reason why was because I wanted the opportunity to speak to recruiters and ask them what they look for. Yeah, one, what they look for in someone coming on board, and what they feel like college kids that come to them lack. Right. So yeah, so I applied to like 75 positions, got denied from like all of them except for like nine. I got an interview with about like, well, okay, so I got denied up from them all except for like nine. I got to actually get an interview with like, oh, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you
Yes,
hear me
yes,
now?
yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
So up front, do you mean like at like the
Well,
booths? Like they was like said like no or
so I'm counting the booths when I was talking at the career fairs, but also in general, like just applying online as well
Got you.
too. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just
Okay.
like, yeah, yeah, like so approximately like 75. I heard back like somewhat of a yes from like nine. Um, I got an interview from like three, and I got zero internships. Right, but
Oh,
yeah,
no.
but the ones that I got a chance to speak to, I asked them, hey, how can I improve my resume? How can I, and some of the, I'll give you like three big things that they said. They said that a lot of engineers that they see don't have communication skills. They can't talk to anybody. Cool. So I was like,
Hmm.
okay, great. Let me focus in that area, right? The other thing they said is a lot of engineers that come to them don't have any leadership skills as well too. I was like, okay, great. Let me focus in that area as well too. And then I think the third thing they said, I believe the third thing they said was a lot of engineers that come to them don't it's like there's nothing that they do that really like stands out in a way, right?
Hmm.
So what I did with those three was, so the first two, yeah, the first two, which was communication skills, because I used to be like socially awkward, like it was bad, it was so bad.
Yeah.
So what I started doing was I started reading books. The first book that I ever read was How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Nice.
by Dale Carnegie, right? So when I
Yeah.
read that book, I was like, okay, cool, and then I started applying it. So I started getting involved on campus, getting involved in different clubs and stuff like that. I became a resident advisor because obviously that puts me in an uncomfortable position to talk to people and talk to parents, right? Cool. And
Yeah.
I built those skills through that, and then the way that I stood out, the way that I stood out is I actually got a minor. I minored in mathematics and I minored in business as well too. So like from then on, every internship that I got, every internship that I got, like a majority of them were saying that the reason why they wanted to interview me, and why they picked me, what was I stood out because I had a business minor. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's engineering. Yes, we got to design, but at the end of the day, they're still running a business. So they want to design
Hmm.
efficiently and effectively to make the company more revenue. And because I understood that, it
Hmm.
made it a lot more easier.
People don't understand that like every job in a business is function is to make the company more
Exactly.
money. And like once people realize like their efforts goes towards like the back end of making the company
Absolutely.
money, they can get, I won't say they won't get, I won't say they'll get promoted more easily, but they'll do their job more efficiently because they'll understand the actual function. Like if you're like an analyst, you're not just fixing numbers, you're trying to make the company more revenue by saving them like something on this particular business operations sect. So it's like in sales, like it's just not like it's you
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
it, but I mean they understand it
yeah,
too.
yeah. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
So how was the job your first like professional job experience? 'Cause, I mean, obviously we know that at the beginning, spoiler alert, you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
transitioned. I mean, and we could tell you're very young. So I
Absolutely.
mean, it was definitely. I know you went to college probably for a while for
Mhm.
it. I mean, how was the job, and then what motivated you to transition into what you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah. So
currently?
okay, so my first job, or yeah, like my first job, it was, oh my god, it was a dream come true. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a dream
Like,
come true.
why?
The reason why, okay, so the reason why is, so like I had said a few minutes ago, like when I chose civil engineering, I said, hey, I'm gonna put myself in the best position possible. So along with like applying to 75 companies and stuff like that, but I also I constantly looked at the top 10 to 15, like Forbes. No, it's not even Forbes. It's like so. I guess like media a company called called ENR. Um, and ENR it pretty much ranks like the top a civil engineering companies like you can have it like specifically look at a civil engineering. So I looked at like so I looked at the ENR top 15 companies. I looked at the first one, like the top five, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna work at these companies right here." So I studied the companies, I kept them in my mind, and all that stuff. So the reason why my first job was so lit, like coming out of college, was because it was actually with the company that was actually number one in civil engineering on that ENR list. So that's why, yes. So that's why for me it was actually lit because prior to starting my career there, I actually did 2 internships with them. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Dang. So essentially, you saying you was in the money and you was on your own and you was just balling. Not on a budget. You was just balling. Still are. But okay. So what? I mean, what? I guess we haven't talked about the pros, but I mean, what were the negatives? I mean, the pros obviously is the money.
Yeah.
Like it's a career where you can make a lot of money at, and I'm assuming it's a 4-year degree, like for the
It
most
is. It
part
is.
to get there.
So I will say when it comes to engineering, they say 4 years. But if you honestly, if you complete an engineering degree in 4 years, it means that you didn't have a life, you didn't have a social life at all, you didn't do anything, you didn't even have a job in college. It just meant that you just went to school and came home. Because it's like facts. Because it's a myth to complete an engineering degree in 4 years.
Jeez.
And these employers will like employers would rather have someone who might have like let's say a 3.0, but they're involved or they have a job on the side to like show, okay, great, this person can multitask, this person is good under pressure and stuff like that, rather than having someone who has a 4.0 and that's all they have on their resume is a 4.0. But yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Um. Okay, that makes sense. What I know I'm kind of
Oh
backtracking
no,
a
you're good.
little
You're good.
bit,
You're good.
but but how was the? I mean, I know you said like the first time you had 75, like you applied to 75 places, you didn't get
Yeah.
anywhere. How was the interview process at? Cause I know you said you had 2 internships at the number
Yeah.
one place that you ended up working for your first job. How was that interview process after you worked on those 3 like core abilities, like the communication, leadership? How did you implement that into the next interview process with
Yeah.
that new company?
So what I did after, so all while simultaneously doing that, I studied how to structure my resume and all that good stuff as well too. And then my sophomore year, I practically did the same thing. Just to kind of gauge where I was at, as far as like my growth and stuff like that. And I got denied. Even a company that I ended up working with when I got out of college, I got denied from them like offered, like it was quick, like I applied. No, it was crazy. So I applied, and then like 2 days afterwards, I got the email. Hey, we appreciate you for applying, but I was like, yeah.
What?
But I actually ended up getting a small internship. Yeah. I ended up getting a small internship. It was a local one. That it actually brought me to South Carolina for one of their projects over there. It was a great experience, but I hated the internship. I'm not gonna lie.
Was that like the start of like your hate for the
No,
career?
no.
I mean, I don't know if you hate the career, but like, was it the start of like the, like hate builds in the hearts? Like, was it the start of like?
I wouldn't say it was the start. No, because the company was a good company. The
Okay.
company was good. It's just that I didn't like that internship per se because it was the okay. So this was more of a construction based internship. So it was a lot more hands on. It was my first time on like a construction like site. And when I
Okay.
tell you, and we were like going, and we were going like heavy, like it was like around the clock, like 12 hours. Yeah, like yeah,
Dang. Okay.
12-hour shifts. That's why I didn't like it. Yeah, that's why I didn't like it. But
So were you like picking up wood and like hammering nails
yeah,
and stuff like that, or kind
so
of
yeah,
you
yeah.
just like?
So they wanted us to like they wanted us to like get like a full experience. So like we worked with the laborers, so the construction workers as well too, and then towards the end of the internships, we worked with the on-site field engineers as well too to see what they do on the back end and help them out as well too. So I actually appreciated it a lot because prior to that experience, you know how you would like just drive by a construction site and just see construction workers and be like, oh man, whatever. Like you might have thoughts about them in your head or whatever. But construction
Yeah.
workers are really smart. Like what I say is this. Construction workers know more about building anything than the actual engineer. And that's what I
Mm.
realized. It's just that construction workers don't have the degree. That's, that's all it is.
Mm. So like is there? I know like because I work in a company where like there's systems engineers and there's salespeople, like kind of like the same. I guess concept is different. It's not physical, but like there's salespeople that become systems engineers without the degree. They get technical training through our company. Is there like a platform or a place where like those laborers can become civil
Yeah, yeah.
engineers, or is it like they're
Oh
stuck
no,
in
no, no,
like
no.
that?
For
Okay.
example, like because so yeah, and the reason why I got in the construction side of it was because I was yeah, you know what? One of the other things that I forgot this, but one of the other things that I was told like during like when I was talking to recruiters and stuff like that was that a lot of engineers don't really know how to design because they don't know what happens on a construction site, right? Because
Mm.
whatever you design, like you can design, you can design a house in space, but then you can go to the actual construction site and the layout, the land, the layout of the land, the material of the dirt will be so
Mm.
different to the point where your design probably won't work. So you gotta
Mm.
but someone who's already on site, a construction worker, they already know that. So even talking to these construction workers, like they'll complain a lot about like looking at the construction plans and saying, "Oh, this not gonna work. This not gonna work. This not gonna work. This engineer who designed this don't even know what they're doing." Like, yeah, yeah,
So is there like a lot of animosity between the engineers
there
that
is no. There's a lot of
are?
there's a lot of animosity between engineers and construction workers because construction workers think that engineers don't know what they're doing and that they only have like they're only in their position because they have a degree, and the
Mm.
engineers think that construction workers are just difficult to work with, because a lot of them come from various different backgrounds. Like let's be honest here,
Mm.
a lot of construction workers are either black or Hispanic. You know what I mean? So yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, no. So there are like pathways for construction workers to actually build up the ranks and either become an engineer through like the program. It varies on company. Yeah, it varies on what company you're at, but you can actually work your way up. It takes like I'll give an example. Like if you go through school. If you go through
Mm.
school, you can go through school once you have the credentials and stuff like that. You can take your engineering exam. Boom, you have your license as well too. That takes like
Mm.
4 to 6 years. The same equivalent for someone who doesn't have a degree and doesn't get a degree, they have to take like 13 years.
Oh
Exactly,
wow,
exactly. So
goodness.
there's a path, but it
Mm.
requires a little bit more time, pretty much. Yeah.
Dang. So I mean, saying that I mean, that now that you're not working in that industry, not to say that you won't go back, 'cause you never know. Life is
Probably not
long.
go
Well,
back,
life is short and long. But
but
but I mean, was it worth it? Was like if you could do it over? I mean, we'll get into. I mean, we're at 30 minutes, but we can go a little longer if you got. Do you have
oh
time, or
no,
you want to go do you do a
I got
part
time.
two?
I got time, man. I got time.
Okay, bet. Um, would you? We'll go into your new career, and I know you're an entrepreneur too. We'll go to get into that
Yeah.
later, but like, was it all worth it? Like, if you could go back in time, see a young Bokar, 18 years old, you still want the money, you still have the engineering, the African upbringing, like saying like STEM, STEM,
Yeah.
STEM. Would you still do it? Like, because I mean, you made a lot of money from it, and it was a great experience. I know you have like even like college. I know I'm rambling here, but like people say college is not worth it, but like I met you through college.
Facts,
you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And we're here now, like what, 5 years, 6 years later. So it's like, was it worth it?
So I would personally say that it was worth it. Yes. The reason why I say it was worth it is because if people like so even going back to like college and stuff like that, if people understand what college is really truly meant for, then they would appreciate it a little bit more. College does not guarantee you anything. It doesn't guarantee you a job. It doesn't guarantee you anything of that nature. College is just really strictly to build connections and build a network. That's it. Yeah. And then obviously like a degree is proof to employers that you know how to teach yourself. Because I mean, let's be honest, these classes, it doesn't matter what major you're in, you pretty much teach yourself.
100%. They're lecturers. Like the professors are called lecturers, so they're lecturing. They're not teaching you. They're not teachers. They're lecturing you. It's crazy though, because I feel like a lot of people, and this is why my kids will go to Ivy League schools, or they won't go to college at all, because like you see like a lot of venture capitalists, like they all have the same like Stanford background, Brown background. Like it's a whole different networks take you places, and that's all college is. Like there's a network of Michigan, network of Stanford, network of here of UNC Charlotte. Like it's very big, but it's like you said, it's bigger than a degree. It's way bigger than a degree.
Like I'll give a prime example just real quick. So I was talking to a friend of mine. We've been friends since high school. Actually, like we used to play high school football and stuff like that, right? So we were talking about like 3 or 4 months ago, and we were like just like talking about stuff. You know how like you talk to old friends, you talk about like where everybody else in your class might have gone and what they're up to and stuff like that. And we got on the topic of like how networking is real, and about how like the more privileged crowd in high school, how it's like one group in our high school specifically, it's like there were 4 guys. They majored in God knows what, but they all 4 work at a major consulting firm here in Charlotte. Why? Why is that? Because they all know each other. You know what I mean? So and that's why I say like even the internship that I had, right, and then the company that I started to work with, there were two girls, one that was an engineer and then one that worked in HR. The engineer, her dad worked there, so she got an internship there. The other one, other one, her dad's best friend was a president there.
It's crazy because like in like what you're saying about the four men, it might even went further than them knowing each other. It might have been their parents' network because like I work in big tech now, and like I work in sales in big tech, and like I'm not a team lead, but I supervise people sometimes, and like I was mentoring an intern, and this intern, her dad was a high sales rep. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. So I looked at all the interns for this company, all of their parents worked at the company. And I'm like, wow, like it's like, I mean, I can't blame them because their parents did what they had to do to get there. And they were very intelligent themselves, but it's like, it's just crazy. Like you see networks play out at an extremely high level, like playing chess. It's like playing chess like 40 years in a row. Like it's interesting. But I mean, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean,
it's crazy. But okay, let's go into. I mean, tell us what you're doing now, and then like what made you get into that career.
All right, man. So what I'm doing now is I am a data analyst, right?
Nice.
So
and tell us what is a data analyst? Like we're gonna act like we have no knowledge of any of this stuff. Like what's data analyst?
So a data analyst, pretty much what a data analyst does. A data analyst takes a look at different aspects of the business, whether from an operational side or a financial side. And they collaborate with the different pieces. Yeah, they collaborate with the different key people in a company, depending on like the position, a stakeholder, which a stakeholder might be like a client or executive. And you collaborate with them, and you analyze different areas of the company, depending on whatever scope you're looking at, to help drive business solutions, help the company make or save money, help the company save time in different areas as well too, pretty much, and also improve processes as well too. So pretty much in short is to make different areas of the business run more efficiently and run more smoothly.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a good
Yeah.
explanation. Okay. And then, so I guess explain the transition and really the why.
The why.
Really the why. Cause I mean, cause I know me, I was jealous of you. Cause like, man, I'm an entrepreneur. I call myself a creator. I like to create, but I was like, dang, man, I wish I would have known about STEM. Like, cause growing up, I was like when I grew up, it was really like military, college, but like no major specific or just work. And I was going to go to the military, but I ended up going to community college first in Charlotte. But like, I didn't know what STEM was like until I was probably like a sophomore or a junior, honestly, in college. So like, I mean, like, so I was always jealous of like, oh man, Bokar is so smart because he's so focused. Like me, like I have a hard time now focusing like on like some things. So it was like, dang. And then when you told me you were switching, I was like, bro, you were like, bro, like that's a high end career, bro. You switching, but like, please, but I understand why you did it. But I mean,
yeah, I got you. So okay, so. And this might not apply to all engineers, but civil engineering specifically, the main things that caused me switching was one, the experiences that I had, two, the pay. The pay wasn't as good as I thought that it would be. You know, it wasn't as good as everyone in the world really thinks, if that makes sense. Like, yeah.
Well, I was talking to somebody at my job today and said you're either underpaid or you're overpaid. There's no in between. So you were underpaid for what you were doing.
I felt like I was underpaid. Absolutely. And three, I guess my experiences led to me not really enjoying it. So I'll go through my different experiences. And also at the end of the day, you know, before I get into it, at the end of the day, it's not going to be everyone's experiences, because it varies on the company. Because at the end of the day, if you're at a bad company, then it's not really like the environment's going to suck regardless, you know? But so the first company that I went to, once again, it was the number one company, right? And I actually enjoyed that position. Like if what happened did not happen, I would still be there today. Like, because I absolutely like loved it. Like they loved me, I loved them. I was actually supposed to because I speak French, and they had, so you know what? Let me backtrack for like a second. So the types of projects that I worked on were like very large scale, like the projects that I worked on were a minimum worth $12 billion because of the industry that they're in. Like I was working on like so like this specific company, like they built the first and largest nuclear power plant in America. They built they built the deepest bridge connections underneath water. Like no. So this is a really dope company. Like I was working on like the projects the projects I worked on. One project was located in Mexico. One project was located here, and so on and so forth. So there was opportunities to, you know, travel internationally as well too. And they were actually like, because they loved me so much, and my supervisors like loved me so much, they were actually prepping me because there was a project. So because I got started there full time in 2020, in January 2020, because I graduated in December 2019. Summer 2019 and summer 2018, I had internships there. So January 2020, they were prepping me because they want to bid for a project in Quebec, and they need a lead engineer there. And one of the requirements is that the engineer needs to speak French. French is my primary language.
Mm.
So off rip, my boss like came to me like my second month. No, my first month there, and he was like, "Hey, we're thinking about sending you here. How do you feel about that?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm good."
I'm out. I'm out.
Especially after he explained to me that pretty much when you get sent internationally, you get a bump in your pay. They pretty much pay for everything, and then also you get like you do like 4 weeks on, like so 4 weeks working, 2 weeks off, and those 2 weeks off they can either fly you back home or you can like travel around over there, but you still get paid those 2 weeks as well. Yeah, so to me, I'm like,
Wait. I don't know. I never heard this before. So the 4 weeks, is it like a standard rate or is it a high rate because you're
well, no,
working like higher than the 2 weeks, or is it?
just because you're internationally that like your pay goes up. But essentially
Got you.
because obviously you're internationally, so they're taking you away from your family, right?
Got you.
So they have this 4 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So meaning 4 weeks, and it's not 4 weeks straight. Like you're not working on the weekend too, but it's like 4 weeks you're there.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks you can like like if you want to come back home for a little bit for those 2 weeks you can, and you can go back. Whatever, right? Cool. Yeah, it was legit, right? But 2020 was also the start of the pandemic, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this specific company actually paid pretty well. But what I didn't realize is I was honestly this was mistake one for me. I was chasing money too much. So I was blinded about like the specific industry. So this a company was in the oil and gas industry. And it was crazy because it was actually crazy because when the pandemic started happening, I heard some of the employees talking about like, oh man, I hope we don't get like laid off or whatever. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? And then
What?
listen. The employee goes, well, I mean, this is the oil industry, right? I was like, yeah. So, and he goes, yeah. So like when it's good, oh, it's really good. The money's good. But when it's bad, oh my God, it's bad. He said, he's been with a company for like 20 years. He's been like laid off like 2 or 3 times. And I'm like,
Jeez.
I'm sitting here like, and you're okay with this? Talking about,
bro, it's that's wild.
So what ended up happening is because of the pandemic, about like 3 months, about like 2 months in, all of our clients stopped all of our projects. Like all of our projects come to a halt, right? Because that happened. The company is not making money for us being there. So it was crazy because it was like a good. I want to say about like there were like 25 new employees at that office alone. Like I'm not even talking about all the other offices and all the other projects at that office alone, right? Great.
Yeah.
We ended up getting furloughed first. Pretty much what a furlough is for like 60 to 90 days, you're not getting paid. And then also, but you keep your benefits. That's it. If they can't end up finding, a role for you, then you'll get fired. Pretty much, you'll be let go.
Well, thank you for explaining furlough. But like after that 60-day, 90-day period, do you get like a
No.
package, or you're just like
no? So in like most places really don't do a severance package. I feel like that's like more like back in the day. Companies don't really do severance packages anymore like that.
that's crazy.
So what I remember from that experience is okay, great. So that experience brought me to Houston, Texas, because that's where I moved. I have no family there at all. I started January. You're telling me March, April that there's a chance that like I barely been working. you think I'm gonna go 60 to 90 days without getting paid? Like, how am I gonna live?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
started looking. Yeah, so like a lot of the people, a lot of the a lot of the people that I made connections with there, they ended up like like they were really mad of like how it went, and I was like, geez,
Mhm.
okay. And so like one person, he had to move to Tennessee for a job because that was like the best job he could get. Someone had to move to Indiana and different stuff like that. Like people had to move for work. Um,
Mhm.
and so I ended up getting just doing a lot of interviews, a lot of different interviews. And
Yeah.
that led me to my second role, which was a project management role. Okay.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
moved on from there. Cool. The reason why I didn't like this experience, so 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 I was a project manager, and pretty much I managed 6 to 8 major highway projects in the state of Texas. That's what I did. So I was pretty much the liaison between us and the client. I would take the client out to lunch and different stuff like that. I would
Mhm.
Is it okay, if you can answer this? Was the client the government? If you can answer that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Well, okay, no, they were government projects, but the
Mhm.
client were I mean, the client were like a construction company that was
Got a
exactly
contract from the government.
Okay.
pretty much, yeah. So, I would take the client out to lunch and stuff like that, blah blah blah. I would I had techs that worked under me, so I would like delegate tasks. I would do
Mhm.
billing. I would set up projects. I would help with project execution plans and manage construction. Manage construction from start to finish. Right.
Mhm.
So that's what I would do. Um, but however, this position was really a big hassle, and the company was really so. This company actually like left a bad taste in my mouth because the 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 person I met with, like he's like the president of a company, whatever. The person I did my interview with, uh, you know, in, in my opinion, he took advantage of how young I was and how naive I was because I just, I'm 6 months into my career.
Yeah.
You're already gonna make me a PM, cool, but the pay wasn't PM pay. But I didn't know that. I just was looking for a
Mm.
job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so now I'm in this position where I'm driving, 45 minutes to the office and stuff like that. I gotta
Yeah.
drive. Yeah, you know what? Let me backtrack. No, 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 no,
No,
no,
you're
no,
good.
no.
You're good.
So okay, so they gave me two options, right? They gave me either the option to get a company truck,
Mm.
or they'll give me a stipend for my own personal truck. In my mind,
Mm.
I was like, what? Let me get my own truck, right? Yeah, right.
I remember that. That thing was
Bad,
nice too.
bad idea.
That truck was nice though. That truck
It
was
was
nice.
bad idea, bad idea. Because I was getting money for a truck, yeah, and yes, I made sure like my payments for the truck was like less than
Mhm.
less like whatever, like less than the stipend, so like that my insurance and
Yeah.
all that could fit underneath it. But
Yeah.
I was having to travel to different job sites all the time. So pretty much now all of my money is going to gas. On top of that, these
Yeah.
construction projects are at times going starting in the middle of the night. So I'm over here at 24 years old. I'm over here having to talk to clients at 1 or 2 in the morning. Crazy,
Ooh.
right? I'm just sitting here like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
On top of that, when you work construction, you kind of have to put on like you you kind of gotta be a and excuse my French, but you kind of gotta be an asshole. Like
Mhm.
so
Why is
yeah,
that?
and it's like me, like you know me.
Why is
The
that?
reason
Like,
the
why
reason
is
why
that?
is because construction workers are once again, like they're tough to work with, like they're assholes,
Mm.
right? Because no, because think about
Yeah.
it. These are grown men that
Yeah.
like I don't know, like from whatever backgrounds they're from and stuff like that. Like they're just. So then, yeah. So then,
It's a lot of ego.
Exactly.
You're dealing with a lot of men, a lot of ego.
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I work with a GC all the time, and like he's not egocentric, but like I've done construction jobs with him, and the people there, I mean, like they're perfectionists. Like people think less of them because they're blue collar, but like they're just as anal about their craft as like someone that works in investment banking. So it's like you coming in 24 years old, black, like managing them. You're like, yo, you don't know what he's talking about.
Exactly. So I was doing things constantly outside of work too, and on top of that, I was on salary as well too. So this is a lot of stuff that I'm not getting paid for, and I'm like, yo, and it was actually like causing me a lot of stress. And then the last thing as well too, I had this one specific employee that wanted my job, like so he worked under me. He wanted my position. So he would like purposely tell me wrong information because he knew that. No, like, this is crazy. This was crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, this is you got to go deeper on this. This is wild.
Right, cool. So that's what happened with that, and being fully transparent. Like this was like the most like toxic situation that I've ever been in. Like I wasn't in a good place. I mean, mentally when I had this job. So, but the way that I ended up getting, so I ended up getting let go there. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because I'm just, I go in one day inside the office, the president is there and the CEO is there. I'm like, okay, cool. They sit me down, whatever, because I've talked to the president here ever so often because he'll say, oh, like long story short, he'll, like he gets feedback from different people inside his office saying that I don't ask enough questions. When if you look at my notebook, you see I wrote down everything that Yeah. But so even that employee that would tell me wrong information, I would study a different stuff and know my material and know my different types of materials, because essentially like when there's construction, like there's different types of materials and stuff like that. You got to know a lot. So I wrote it all down. So whenever he would tell me something, I'm like, nah, that's not right, and I would correct him. And then that's when he realized that I'm catching on to his BS. But anyways, so yeah, no. The way they let me go was like just randomly like came in one day and was like, hey, so that like he said some random stuff, and it was in front of everybody. In a way, and then he brought up my side business. Yeah. This was he brought up my side business and was like, "Oh well," pretty much trying to say that I was focusing too much on that, which is why I was slipping on work. And funny enough, I've never talked to anybody there about what I do outside. On top of that, I don't, yes, I'll take a couple calls at work. Yeah, like I'll step out the office real quick, take a call and stuff like that. But I never did, side business stuff at the job. So long story short, they had somebody stalk my social media. Yeah, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this is absolutely crazy. When in actuality, what the real issue was that the company was being cheap and they didn't want to hire more people. They expected me to do they had expected me to do the job of like 3 to 4 individuals at the same time. Jeez. And that was so that was a bad experience.
Hey, bro, we're gonna have to do a part 2 because we almost at an hour, but this is a good conversation. I know people want to hear the rest of it, but I know I want to respect your time first and foremost. So were you down for a part 2?
I'm down, bro. I'm down.
Okay.
You know,
but let me ask you 3 quick questions though. Like it's kind of like a speed round. 3 questions. Like the first thing that comes to your mind. Like in your current role, are you underpaid or overpaid?
Overpaid.
That's a nice answer. Okay. One book, place, or person that changed your life. And don't mention the book you said earlier, because I know that changed your life, but not that book earlier. If you name a book.
One book that changed my life.
Or a book, person, or event that changed your life.
Okay. Book that changed my life is The Compound Effect.
And why?
Why? The reason why the compound effect, because it helped me understand that, which I already kind of had an idea, but the way the book broke it down, it pretty much helped me understand that every decision I make from a physical health standpoint, from a money standpoint, from a mindset, from an emotional standpoint, I might not see the effects of it today, but I'm gonna see it like 3 or 4 years down the line at some point. You know, yeah.
Makes sense. And that was one question, the why and the compound effect. So the last question is, if you could go back in time, you could change anything. What would you? And you could change anything about only in regard to like, your decisions. Like, would you change anything?
Honestly, no. The reason why I say no is because I feel like this is God's work. I feel like if I didn't go through everything that I did, then I wouldn't appreciate what I have now. Like if I didn't lose everything, I wouldn't really I really wouldn't have had the growth and appreciate the things that I have now, grown so much in my faith. And different stuff like that. Like we could all say that, hey, I wish we could go back in time. If I would have known this and stuff like that, and the fourth, yeah. It doesn't happen like that. You're not in control of anything. The only thing that you're in control of is your attitude, and how you react to things. And that's about it.
You're right. I like that answer. All right, give the people like your social media, your handles, and all that kind of stuff. If you don't, I'll put it in the.
So I'm on LinkedIn as well too. So I'm on LinkedIn. My name on LinkedIn is Bokar Diaby. My Facebook is Bokar Diaby as well too. And then also my Instagram is Bokar Diaby _ Absolutely.
Thanks for that. I mean, comment, like, subscribe. We're obviously going to have Bokar back on here for an episode, like part 2, maybe part 3, because I mean, me and this my boys, we can just chat up all day. But man, I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate the stories and like just your life, man. It's amazing. And I know like we didn't get into a lot of the stuff that I know personally. It's obviously some of it's personal, but I mean like I know you and this is crazy, like inspiring as always, man. I appreciate you coming on here, man, and share your story. You'll be back on here soon.
I definitely appreciate it, man. And once again, I definitely appreciate you for reaching out to me about this and like giving me the opportunity to really share space on your platform. Like I told you, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing with your voice and the way you're trying to give back to the community and stuff like that. And yeah, I got you, bro. I definitely got you. I definitely appreciate it.
I appreciate it, fam. Well, thank you for joining the Unknown Options. Hope everyone comment, like, subscribe, follow us on all social media, Unknown Options. Y'all have a nice night.